Travis Wingoodsall. Try this again. I had watched 5 days ago the NCIS episode where Jamie Lee Curtis was the psychologist, and it's a joke. I'm about to reveal the punchline. Bear with me. And so it revealed in the show some more atrocities of psychologists. And of course I didn't add her to the picture of the comment reply video that this is about. And so I began doing the video and went over some more about the evils of psychology and how the church is using it, and began working on the comment, and I was inspired to find out about this Mormon discussions, found out that Bill Reel is in charge of it, and that he was a convert to the church at 17 years of age, and so he doesn't know Mormonism. If you're not born and raised in the covenant Mormon, you are not to be considered an authority on Mormonism. But he thinks he is. And at 26 years of age, or 29, I don't care, he wasn't in Utah when he became a bishop. Anybody can be an authority in the church outside of Utah. And so again, he's not an authority. And I've done the video where rank in the church does not equate to spirituality or to knowledge of Mormonism. And this is one of the misleading myths of Mormonism, that many Mormons think that the higher the rank you are, the more spiritual you are, and therefore if you leave the church, it's more damaging to the church. No. You get an intellectual to leave the church, and now you've got a huge scandal. I wonder if there's any intellectuals in your life or in a video you've seen recently of an intellectual who's left the church, which would pose a huge scandal that would shake the very foundations of Mormonism if only those who aren't authoritative and aren't intellectuals would acknowledge and not look beyond the mark to those in authority, or those who fake authority like Bill Reel is. And so then the power went out mid-video. I was wrapping it up. I decided to continue on rather than end it there. Oops. And it was out for 17 minutes. And so I decided to do my one phone call a month to keep my phone service. And then, after reporting the power outage, said, fine, I'll call my X not X. And if you're confused by that, thank the state of Utah for allowing annulments. We were never married. I know the church has the documents, but according to the state of Utah, we were never married. And so we never had, nope, never did, because we weren't married. And because I had found on one of the messages on my phone because I don't use my phone. I don't like my phone. Not just because I'm not an auditory person. Women would understand that. But also, I don't like being tracked. It was bad enough in the pre-cell phone days, that you get all these crank calls of people abusing you. And then finally they came up with *69 so that you can find out who they are and report them to the police. And so the invention of the cell phone protected them. But, she had left a message saying that she had canceled her mastectomy in September. And so that frustrates me to no end, having known her. But we didn't really know each other because the state of Utah says we didn't. And so I call her up, and she's again wasting her money on a frivolous pursuit that will never yield any value in her life. People are just suckering her out of her money. And so I'm trying to warn her about it. She doesn't want to hearken. Nobody ever hearkens to me. What is it about Mormons who don't want to hearken to intellectuals who know the subject matter and are trying to warn people about the dangers that are coming up on 9/11? Can you answer that for me? I know St. George is in a power outage, so my viewers aren't listening. You might think that they were specifically targeted because they are my viewers, and a video I did today is a breakout video, and so they had to put a stop to it, and so they decided, hey, let's shut down the power grid down there. And so, if you've ever watched The Princess Bride, there's a scene where he's, was tortured and lost years of his life because of the machine that was created to suck a person's life out of their body. And so he's kind of weak still, and he's stopping Princess Buttercup from committing suicide. She was going to stab herself in the chest. And so he says, there's a shortage of perfect breasts in the world. It would be a shame to damage yours. Yeah. So that's immediately what came to mind with her, the X not X. And so I call her up, and she responds and decides to hold off on taking her test for the scam that she's paying for, and says that she isn't canceling it, and it's back on again, and it's just for one of them. And it was sad, because I'm not a breast man, but she does have perfect breasts. Buttercup? No. Her? Yes. And so I was trying to get her consent to do a before and after photo shoot. She didn't want to go for it. Came up with all sorts of excuses not to. And has to do with one of the Bill Reel things, so keep listening. Oh, you're not? Because this is completely changed from the original one that was destroyed with the power outage. And so finally the power came on 17 minutes later, and she insisted she had to go and give away her money to people who were scamming her. And so, yeah, that's the end of that for that. And I did sneak in about her talking with me in 2017. She knew the research that I was doing about the latter days. and she demanded that I tell her the actual date to go back to Missouri. I've since found out it's not Missouri we're going to. The Joseph Smith Papers reveals truths that Bill Reel is not doing. God. 19 July 1840, it's Southern Illinois, where X marks the spot. And so I reminded her of that and said, I hope you have good walking shoes. And I tried to get in. Joseph Smith gave us the date, and she wasn't wanting to listen, and so I told her. She tried to talk to me about what Nelson said or did, and it's his birthday. Yeah, he's 99, dear. On 9/9, he'll be 99. She was trying to say 100. No, 99. And there's a reason for that, and God's in charge of this, because his name is Lucifer, which I then tried to tell her. And she responded with, there have been so many people trying to get me to leave the church. Are you not hearkening to them either? Are you not getting it? And then, yeah, the day that she'll burn his oven, she then went off on a tangent. Yeah, I'm going to be burned. I paid for my ashes when I die. And, you wasted your money on another thing? It's going to be done for free. Your tithing money already paid for it. Frustrating. But it never happened. And so while I was doing the video and going over his channel, which that extra amount of time on the video ruined it, I have gone back now and I've actually listened to a few of his quickies to see what kind of videos he does on Mormon discussions. And, oh my God. And I probably should first bring up the Jason, who sent me a comment, and that's what triggered this whole thing, especially after watching Jamie Lee Curtis, is that I was wanting to find out if Mormon discussions was connected to the psycho who's been leading Mormons astray with this kind of crap. They all feed each other. But he said that I've got let me quote him. Hold on. Excuse me. And it was on my Mormons, especially women, deny plain and precious truths of Mormonism. So you think as a person who's no longer a Mormon that this guy would support me. But nope, Mormon Discussions has ruined it for all of his viewers against me. This is why I checked on Bill Reel of Mormon Discussions. And so he says, get a personality. Maybe people will listen. In math, 0 is not a number. In art, black is not a color. In behavior, not having a personality is a personality. That's the difference. So this guy doesn't get it. I have a personality. He just doesn't like my personality. he's being mean and abusive. And he's blaming Mormon discussions for it. He says he was deconverted because of Mormon discussions. Well, I'm sorry, they lied to you. Bill Reel is not an authority on Mormonism. And so I'm going to go over the 3 quickies that I reviewed to explain the fish called Mormonism. And you're going, fish? I didn't see fish in the title of your video, Travis. Everybody who knows about it knows about it. It's fish. Pronounce it out. The mind-blowing truth behind Joseph Smith's predatory polygamy revealed. Anybody who's been watching my channel for a while, when I criticize critics, rule number 1 in my Gibbs Rules of Travis, or of Mormonism, we'll call it the Gibbs Rules of Mormonism. Never, ever, 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 ever trust a witness. Everybody lies. That's one of Gibbs' rules, I believe. I'd have to look it up to find out which number. Or was it everybody lies? No, that's... I think, well, it might be Gibbs. Well, no, it's also House. I remember that from House a lot. Everyone lies. Yeah, okay. But anyway, regardless. The big problem with Joseph Smith being accused of being a sex predator and a polygamist comes from, first, the accusations of the Danites. I've done the research. I'm an expert in the field of Mormonism. I'm an anthropologist of the ancient Middle East. On top of that, and so yes, studying Mormonism, I used my science-based Socratic method knowledge. These people are not. Apparently there was a journal by a woman who is now writing about what happened later in life, or earlier in her life. And they don't go over the document, it's just a segment from it. And they don't even show the document. It's on a phone thing, it's cut off, and so it's worthless in and of itself, which wastes the whole purpose of making the video in the first place. But they're trying to claim, and it's the woman who's making the claims, that what they read in this journal was just horrible and awful. Joseph Smith is evil. Have you never watched a show where terrorists kidnap people and then force them to read from a script? The women that went with Brigham Young to the valley were sex trafficked. They were kidnapped, held hostage. Their lives depended on obeying Brigham and his Danites. Is that too complicated to understand? You need to read these women's journals in that light. And especially notice the date of when they wrote that journal entry. Because Brigham Young in 1851 publicly declared to the Mormons who had been sent to the valley with the perpetual immigration fund that the United States would go on to shut down as a criminal operation. Who were not involved in polygamy, only the Danites, who were in the first group that went to the valley. That now everyone is to practice polygamy if they were going to be exalted in the highest degree of the celestial kingdom. And then all of a sudden you get guys writing in their journal, oh yeah, I remember Joseph Smith said that an angel with wings and a flaming sword appeared to him and was going to murder Joseph if he didn't practice polygamy openly in defiance of the laws of the government. Just like Brigham Young did in 1851. See, these people aren't smart enough to make these kinds of connections. They just hear somebody's journal and they go, oh, we got Joseph, we got him. They have no clue how to detect a liar, pants on fire. Even when they come out and confess to you they've lied. The Joseph Smith Papers, again, shows that the church has been lying to us about the gospel topic essays, which they released saying, hey, we confess we lied to you, which was Heber J. Grant's change of the church when he incorporated it in 1923. Which was a cover-up of Brigham Young, whose lies about Joseph Smith these people think are true. God, this is why it's so frustrating that nobody's hearkening to me. She was sex trafficked by Brigham and his Danites. He's the predator. They are the predators. And you're going off on Joseph, letting the real predators get away with it. And her name was even Lucifer. Lucy. It wasn't Lucy Mack. Uncovering the shocking truth about Satan in the Mormon temple. Now, this is a Thinker of Thoughts, which I think he's changed the name. I know him as Thinker of Thoughts. I recognize his face. Apparently, he was interviewed by these people. And I've revealed the shocking truth in the Book of Mormon. I've revealed it lately. It is Lucifer's plan of happiness, which Lucifer's symbol is on the keystone of the doors of the Salt Lake Temple, the headquarters temple. So the doctrines of Lucifer are taught within. And the doctrine of Lucifer is quick, hide, cover up your crimes. Which the church has been doing all this time. They've been covering things up and hiding things. But it has to do with porn. See, I tied it all together, didn't I? It's Lucifer's plan to cover up and hide. All I wanted was before and after shots. Before the perfect breasts are gone. But nope. So that is the shocking truth in the temple. Instead, he's more focused on, oh, Satan possesses human bodies. Everybody knows that. That's not a shocking truth. Come on. And then the third one, which will end. And so 5 years from now, when the power comes out for the majority of my audience, uncovering the surprising origin of the name Mormon. This was the main one that I wanted to find out about, because it's William Morgan and Thomas Monroe. They coded the name because the book is coded, because 9/11/1826 is why the Book of Mormon was written. And there are some ex-Mormons who suspect it, but they aren't putting the big puzzle piece together, the picture together. They're missing a breast. I know that's a bad joke, but it did apply. I feel sad. It's one of the most devastating cancers that a woman can get. That and ovarian cancer. But you gotta get the whole puzzle together if you're gonna understand Mormonism correctly. And Bill Reel he can't do it. He doesn't know how to do it. They get all these pieces and they don't know what to do with them. They're not doing what I told you to do when you're researching church history. Have a different paper or word program, however you do it, of people, places, events, and dates. So that when you find patterns, you can then check for the anomalies. And then you can run your scientific-based Socratic method theory development and have it tested so that you can find out the truth. They're just not doing it because they're going off on Bruce R. McConkey's claim that Joseph Smith said that it meant more good. And so they claim that it's more and mon, a 2-word from Egyptian that only Joseph Smith knows. They said that. I know how he did the translations. Hello, I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. I know how to translate the Bible according to the King Follett Discourse. And you still won't believe me. Dear God. And yes, that led into the learning of the Egyptians in the language of the Egyptians. I've done the translation of the facsimiles. I know how he did his translation. And it's not more good. He's taking it from Christians who called the Bible the good word. He's trying to claim it's more good in the Book of Mormon. Just dumb. So frustrating. And so, no, it is not more mon. And then they're even claiming that apologists were trying to claim it's from the Greek mormo. Why are you doing what the Mormon apologists are doing? It's fallacy arguments. Don't do it. So frustrating, guys. Come on.